Hello. Today I'm making a bird feeder totem pole out of this huge tree trunk, and this is one of the limbs of the huge conifer which I removed by hand, and it's been lying around the garden for nearly 2 years, so I'm delighted that I'm getting a second use out of it, and that's going to be positioned here. And the reason I've positioned it here is because it's right next to my wildflower meadow in the wildlife corner of my garden, right next to the wildlife pond. Let me give you a little bit more detail. Well, as you'd probably imagine, with a totem pole, it's going to be an effigy. It's going to have a face on it. It's going to have hair. And of course, it's going to have arms. And because I have a pampas grass in my garden, it's also going to have a lovely plume on its head. Now, what will I do to feed the birds? Well, I'm going to carve the face using my handheld mini chainsaw and a selection of chisels, and the face will be on one side. And whilst I'm doing that, my objective will be not just to make a face, but to make several crevices and holes. So I've also got my handheld drill and several different size wood bits. So at the same time, I'll be carving lots of crevices and holes and making a face, and that will be where I shall smear this homemade fat bird food mix. And if you want to know how to make that, there's a video on my channel, but it's dead easy. Lard, suet and birdseed, mix it together, and then I'll be able to smear that into all those little holes. Now, I mentioned this is going to have arms, and attached to those arms will be hung these little homemade fir cone fat balls, and again you can see a video at the end of this one on how to make those, but pretty self-explanatory. So it will be a bird feeding station. It will also be a bug hotel, because all up and down the trunk I'm going to drill hundreds and hundreds of holes. Now, those bugs can go in there and hibernate, but some of them can go in there and get eaten by birds. So again, that's nature, but some of the birds will eat some of those bugs. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to see it in front of your eyes in fast forward to music. I'm not going to bore you to tears by doing it in real time, but you'll see the finished product within a few minutes. But the objective is to feed the birds. So I've also got one of these bendy camera holders, and I'm going to attach that to my totem pole so that I can observe the birds that come and feed on the totem pole bird food holder. Bit of a mouthful. Now, I've got a dead phone in the garage, so I'll put the dead phone in there so the birds can get used to it, and then when I want to get some footage, I'll come out, refill the bird feeder, and then put my actual phone camera in this holder. So let's get the camera in close so that you can watch me carve out the totem pole. This is a first time experiment for me, never done this before, so any learning points I will put in the description box below this video. I'll also put a link to all the tools that you see me using, including the post hole digger and every other tool, and the ingredients for the fat balls. I'll put a link to those in the description box below this video. They will be Amazon links, and if you buy through those links, I do get a small commission, and I thank you. I've got to be transparent about the commission, but it really does help because it goes towards other projects in the garden. So let's get on with carving out this totem pole and making a totem pole bird feeder. So there he is, our highly realistic, life-size totem pole bird feeder. I've already thought of a name for him. Don't you think he looks a little bit like Roger Moore? I do, especially with the eyebrows. So I've decided to call him Bond, James Bond. And I've even given him a very smart tie, because Roger Moore always wore a nice tie. He's got his hair. Because he's a dandy, he's got this lovely plume at the top. And I've added the fat balls here, the fur comb fat balls on these arms. The only thing left to do really now is to attach the camera and get some footage of some birds feeding on the bird feeder totem pole. So I'll do that next, and I will link to a video at the end of this one, any bird footage I get. I'll see you soon for some more bird feeder totem pole adventures. Bye for now.